What, when, and how to read books. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. Francis Bacon. What to read? Self-inventory or assessment. Before making any resolution about your book list for the next year, you should sit with yourself and be honest about your strengths, weaknesses, and your needs, and ask yourself some question. What I want to improve and change in myself. What books can help me achieve my goals? Am I satisfied with my finances, with my life? Is there any skills I should acquire to make me better at work or business? Is there any dream that has to be fulfilled as soon as possible? Betterment. According to thinkers and leaders, we should be reading to improve our skills and personality in order to become what we aspire to be. Better financially. Better socially. Better physically and personally. To achieve our dreams, we need some specific tools, and we have to be open to acquire them. What to read? Our choice in reading should be diversified and according to our specific needs. If you need to improve your finances, you'd better be reading books about money than only fictions. If you want to be an expert in your field, you should be reading more in your field so you learn from others' mistakes and experiences. When you will make a list of your needs, then you will have your book list. For instance, money books, books about relationship, self-love books, starting a business, self-development, psychology, and others. Prioritize. That self-inventory step is most of the time skipped, even though it's more important than reading whatever is promoted. When you read what you need, you improve yourself and your knowledge, then you feel more satisfied and confident, and you mute those voices that was telling you, you suck at this. Because sometimes we get in the will of the trend and we buy all the latest books just for the fact that everybody is talking about them. It would be okay if this book will fill a gap for you, or if it finds a place on your priority list. It's all about temporary priority. The urgent, then the most important, then come the important and the least important. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't amuse ourselves or dive in a fiction where all our feelings and emotions are being tested. It's just a matter of priority. How to read. Here are some of the most common types of reading you'll encounter during your life. Extensive reading. Extensive reading is one of the methods of reading that people use for relaxation and pleasure. Adopt this method when the purpose is to enjoy the reading experience. It places no burden upon the reader, and due to its indulgent nature, it is seldom used if the text isn't enjoyable. This is one of the methods of reading that occurs naturally. It's how you've read as a child and while growing up. This method of reading helps you understand words in context and enriches your vocabulary. Intensive reading. Among the different types of reading skills, intensive reading is used when you want to read carefully by paying complete attention to understand every word of the text. It is where you would examine and decipher each unfamiliar word or expression. As the term states, intensive means in-depth. This reading method is especially used when reading academic texts, where the goal is to prepare for an exam or to publish a report. This method helps retain information for much longer period. Scanning. Imagine if you went to the Louvre Museum only to see the Mona Lisa. You'd quickly walk through all the corridors and rooms merely glancing at the walls until you found it. Scanning is quite similar to that. It is one of those kinds of reading where you read to search for a particular piece of information. Your eyes quickly skim over the sentences until you find it. You can use this method when you don't need to go deep into the text and read every word carefully. Scanning involves rapid reading and is often used by researchers and for writing reviews. Through this method, you try to understand the text in short. Though one saves a lot of time through this method, one will gain only a shallow understanding of the text. Skimming is a great way to get a broad idea of the topic being discussed. This method is generally used to judge whether the information is useful or not. A good example of this is picking up a magazine and flipping through the pages. You take in only the headings or the pictures to get a broad idea of what the magazine covers. Critical reading. Among the different types of reading strategies, critical reading has a special place. Here, the facts and information are tested for accuracy. You take a look at the ideas mentioned and analyze them until you reach a conclusion. You would have to apply your critical faculties when using this method. Critical reading is often used when reading the news on social media, watching controversial advertisements, or reading periodicals. Various types of reading lead to different outcomes. Choosing the right one can be instrumental in furthering your goals. Further, diversifying your reading habits to include different types of reading will enable you to become a better writer and speaker. Improving your communication skills will enable you to convey your ideas with precision and clarity. It's not always easy to get your point across. But reading gives you the power to understand multiple perspectives. Building a reading habit can be effective in the short and long run. Types of books. There are two types of books: fictional, non-fictional. Fictional and non-fictional can be further divided into many different subtypes, called genres. Here are some of the different genres and types of books available today. Fictional genres: action and adventure, alternate history, anthology, and others shown. Non-fictional genre: art/architecture, autobiography, biography, business/economics, self-help. dictionary and others. When to read? Whenever you feel like. However, experts say that the best time is in the morning when you wake up. The brain is in its full potential and energized after a good night of sleep. Make sure to read for at least 6 minutes a day, considering it can expand your mind and reduce stress by up to 68%. At the end of the day is the most common time to read before sleep. Below are the best times to read books and understand. Reading from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. early morning. Reading early in the morning 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. particularly is usually favorable for many obvious reasons. Reading benefits. Reading has been proven to keep our minds young, healthy, and sharp, with studies showing that reading can even help prevent Alzheimer's disease. Reading also develops the imagination and allows us to dream and think in ways that we would have never been able to before. Because reading increases your vocabulary and your knowledge of how to correctly use new words, reading helps you clearly articulate what you want to say. The knowledge you gain from reading also gives you lots to talk about with others. Reading is so beneficial for you. Research shows that regular reading improves brain connectivity. It awakens the brain and make it works by using a great part of its potential. Aids in sleep readiness. Reading tires the brain like a good workout session do for your body. That's why you feel asleep after a good read. Reduces stress. Studies has shown that cognitive activity, such as reading and learning, reduces stress by 68% and depression. The brain, when working out just like the physical workout, releases endorphin that reduces stress. Moreover, when reading, you get out of your brain while reading. Lowers blood pressure and heart rate. A great book should leave you with many experiences, and slightly exhausted at the end. You live several lives while reading. William Starrin. Empowers you to empathize with other people. When reading a story, you put yourself in the place of the narrator and you see through his eyes and feelings. Then it opens you to another side of view. It makes you less judging even in the real life. Reading contributes to lengthen your life by 2 years and prevents cognitive decline as you age. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies, said Hojan. The man who never reads lives only one. George R.R. Martin. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Dr. Seuss. Increases your vocabulary and comprehension. Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Margaret Fuller. If you don't have time to read, you don't have the time, or the tools, to write. Simple as that. Stephen King. A word after a word after a word is power. Margaret Atwood. Gives you an escape and shelter, fights depression symptoms. Reading is escape, and the opposite of escape. It's a way to make contact with reality after a day of making things up, and it's a way of making contact with someone else's imagination after a day that's all too real. Nora Ephron. A book a day keeps reality away. Challenge your imagination. When we read a story, we inhabit it. The covers of the book are like a roof and 4 walls. What is to happen next will take place within the 4 walls of the story. And this is possible because the story's voice makes everything its own. Jhonberger. bring you uncounted friends and counselors. We read to know we're not alone. William Nicholson, Shadowlands. Books are the quietest and most constant of friends, they are the most accessible and wisest of counselors, and the most patient of teachers. Charles W. Eliot. Reading brings us unknown friends. At the end, you should be reading all kind of books from all genres as well. Fiction to escape your reality and dive in a mysterious world and live 1,000 lives. Nonfiction, in order to improve your life and keep being updated about your interest and the world you live in.